All right, so LifeLock versus Identity Guard, which is the right choice for you? To me, there's a pretty clear winner here. I'll just go ahead and say that I think Identity Guard is the better product, and I'll go into why I think that in just a bit. Whenever I'm evaluating identity theft protection services, and I have used 6 of them, I always look at 3 things. I look at their monitoring, I look at their threat resolution, and of course, their price. When it comes to monitoring, Identity Guard absolutely blows LifeLock out of the water in terms of what they're able to find on the dark web. When it comes to threat resolution, Identity Guard is really there for you. They make sure to answer all of your questions, give you actionable advice, and give you steps to take to protect yourself online going forward. Whereas LifeLock makes you feel a little bit more like a cog in the wheel that's just getting pushed through the motion step by step. And then lastly, when it comes to price, they're fairly comparable, and it's a little difficult to compare because the tiers that each one of these services offer are a little bit different. But in my opinion, the Identity Guard comes out a little bit cheaper, at least in some cases a lot cheaper. And when you use my links in the description of this video, you can get an even better price, not only for Identity Guard, but for LifeLock as well. So if you do sign up for either of these services, make sure to click on those links to apply a nice discount. So I'm going to shift over to the first part of my review, which is their monitoring. And I'll get into the specifics of what these services actually monitor in just a second. But real quick, I just want to show you, in scanning the dark web for my personal information, LifeLock found 7 instances where my personal information was leaked on the dark web. Contrast that with Identity Guard, they found 17 instances. So I'm not really all that thrilled that LifeLock leaves all of this on the table. Obviously, it's out there. Otherwise, Identity Guard wouldn't have found it. And if I'm going to be paying for an identity theft protection service, I want to make sure it's very thorough in making sure that, if my personal information is out there, it knows that it's there and I can be aware so I can change passwords. In terms of what they actually monitor, both of these services are going to monitor your name, your social security number, your date of birth, up to 5 phone numbers, your driver's license number, and 10 gamer tags. Both of these will monitor your addresses, emails, insurance policies, bank accounts, and credit cards. The number that they monitor is a little bit different. Some notable ones, LifeLock allows you to monitor 5 addresses, whereas Identity Guard allows you only to monitor 1. LifeLock allows you only to monitor 5 email addresses, whereas Identity Guard allows you to monitor 10. And I have 6 monitored, and I could put more if I wanted. So LifeLock's not giving me everything I need there. And then in terms of credit cards, LifeLock allows you to monitor 10, and Identity Guard allows you to monitor 40, which I think is nice with virtual cards that we're all using these days. Identity Guard does also allow you to monitor a few things that LifeLock does not. They allow you to monitor 2 passport numbers, 1 national provider identifier, 10 loyalty card numbers, and 5 IP addresses. The only thing that LifeLock allows you to monitor that Identity Guard does not is your mother's maiden name. In terms of transaction monitoring, for the purpose of this video, I'm really just going to look at their baseline plans in each case. And on the baseline plans, neither one of these allows you to monitor transactions, whether that's bank accounts or credit cards. So that's not really a factor here. And in terms of credit monitoring, Identity Guard doesn't offer that at all. LifeLock says that they do monitor it, and they do actually monitor your credit report. But really what they offer here is almost nothing whatsoever. You're not getting credit scores. You're not getting actual credit reports. You're not getting, locks, anything like that. You could say that LifeLock has a tiny edge there, but it does not really make up for the lack of leaks that they're finding on the dark web. So in terms of threat resolution, I unfortunately had the pleasure of contacting both of these companies due to a recent phishing attempt. What I can say is my experience with LifeLock was a bit like a cog in a wheel, just being pushed through the motions. They didn't really do much aside from make note of what I was saying, telling me everything was going to be okay, and reassuring me that I had $1 million in insurance should anything go wrong. Identity Guard, on the other hand, went way, way above and beyond in terms of providing me with actionable advice, telling me how fraud alerts worked and why I might want to place them, telling me how to freeze my credit reports should I want to do that. They sent me a packet of information on how to keep myself safe online. Really, I was very impressed with how thorough they were. Very, very different experience from what I had with LifeLock's support. And last but not least, in terms of price, again, they're a bit difficult to compare apples to apples because what is offered in each of these tiers is, not quite the same. But if you just look at their baseline plan, you can see that Identity Guard is $449 per month when billed annually, whereas LifeLock is $899 per month when billed annually. Of course, that renews at a higher rate. And let's just see what you get. Sure, with both of them, you get this $1 million in identity theft insurance. That's pretty standard. Get an additional $25,000 in stolen funds reimbursement with LifeLock. But basically what it comes down to, what you're getting here is you're getting data breach notifications, and 1 bureau credit monitoring. You're not getting the credit monitoring with Identity Guard's baseline plan. But again, what LifeLock's offering at this tier is really not all that much. If you move up to their standard identity and credit protection plan, that's a bit comparable to LifeLock's Advantage plan. You can see that when you pay annually, that Identity Guard costs $9.99 per month, and the Advantage plan from LifeLock costs $14.99 per month for the first year, and it renews a bit higher. At this point, the main thing is you're still getting 1 bureau credit monitoring, although they do allow you to have monthly credit scores and a credit report, as well as this nice identity lock, which is a bit easier than setting up a freeze. With Identity Guard's total plan, you're getting 3 bureau credit monitoring as well as your monthly credit score. You're not getting that lock, but you could still set up freezes as you needed. And both of these on their mid-tier plan, you're getting bank account monitoring, and you do get credit card activity alerts for LifeLock with that as well. So you're paying a bit more with LifeLock, maybe getting a little bit more in some places, but you're also not getting as much in some places. So I could go on here with the Ultimate Plus and similarly Identity Guard's Ultra, but I think you get the idea. To me, the prices are fairly comparable. If anything, Identity Guard maybe has a little bit of an edge. But at the end of the day, the quality of the product you're actually getting with Identity Guard is so far and beyond. I don't think any slight differences in price really make a huge difference. And whichever one of these you do choose, make sure to use my link in the description if you want to apply a nice discount on your membership. And if you want to know a bit more about either of these services, make sure to check out my LifeLock review and my Identity Guard review. You can find them right here on this channel.